Hey photographers, Mitzi Starkweather here. I got a video for you that's a Q&A of like the juiciest questions that photographers just asked me when I was interviewing them about what their needs are, because I just built something super amazing for all of you. Anyway, I want to answer those questions on a video so that everyone can benefit and also so they can rewatch the answers. All right, first question. Can you give me any marketing tips for how to offer raw portraits? Hello, Raw Portraits Girly here. Yes, I would love to help you do that. Marketing raw portraits. This is a huge topic. This is actually one of the biggest things I just built into my new program called Raw Portraits for Real Profit, that yes, includes my courses, but a bunch of other stuff, new stuff, live calls, live support, accountability, updated marketing and social media training, etc. Here's my number one tip for marketing raw portraits. You have to believe it's valuable. You have to be connected to the why, and you have to be connected to the people you want to serve through raw portraits. Okay? I know people say target client all the time. I want you to think about your $10,000 client. Who is that? Like the person who sees so much value in what you do and the experience you offer through raw portraits that they would be willing and happy and hug you after they spend thousands of dollars with you on an experience where they can see themselves and shine a light on everything that everyone's told them to be afraid of about themselves, and then just be like, oh wow, I'm super lovable anyway. Guys, these sessions are life-changing. It's incredible. And so the photographers who want to offer them, I know it's because there's a little seed, there's a little something in you who's like, wait, I don't have to do all the Photoshop. Wait, I don't have to hire hair and makeup. Wait, I don't have to be worried about fixing all these things for people. I don't have to be concerned that if I don't Photoshop something right, they won't buy the photos. Wait. I don't have to be burnt out. I can do a session in the third the time and charge the same, if not more, money. Yeah, but you have to be, the biggest block is going to be you. So connecting to your why, the person you want to serve, and the problem you're solving for them through doing this. That's what you got to do. You got to talk to them through that. That's something I'm going to be talking about first in my new program. And it launches in a week. And it's going to be discussions around this, around what's worked, what hasn't, what's worked for me. I've been offering raw portraits for almost 3 years now. I've been teaching this method for 2.5 years. I see the blocks you guys have come up against, and I see the ways that I've been blocked and the things I've had to overcome. And so this is a huge question, but I think if I'm gonna boil it down to one quick answer right now, it's gonna be getting super clear on who you're serving and why. That's how you market it. If you don't have that strong foundation, it doesn't matter how many email funnels you have or how much you spend on promoting ads. If the message isn't clear and you haven't done the work to test it and refine it, then none of that matters. All right, second question. What is your why? Oh, I love that. I love getting that question. Oh, that's what a photographer asked me. She said, what is your why, Mitzi? Like, why do you do raw portraits? And I'll tell you why. Because my camera is the way I connect to people. And a raw portraits environment where someone comes into my studio and I just get to sit down and be real with them. And I get to ask them what their real challenges are, what their real celebrations are. You know, ask them honest questions about their journey, get to know them, and just celebrate them exactly as they are. That's my superpower. It's weird in other situations sometimes. Like, that's usually not where people are willing to go, but the raw portraits experience is like this container I've created for how I like to best connect to people, serve people, and create something with my hands that's beautiful, and create it not just for them, but with them. And so that's why I do it, and it lights me up. It's my favorite thing in the world. There's this poet, I don't remember the name, but he says basically, like, the stuff that you create and the way you want to show up in the world, the art that you make, that you want to make, is like the thing that keeps you from walking into traffic. You know? I think that's what this is for me. And even deeper, and even what I love even more, is teaching other photographers and guiding them through the process on how to do this, because it always starts with you. And the creative journey you go through is really incredible. All right, question number 3. What made you go all in on raw portraits? Oh, that's a great question. What made me go all in on raw portraits was, well, first of all, it took too long. It took time. I kept going back. It was like a unhealthy relationship where like I tried to break up and then like just kept going back and hooking up with like Photoshop. um, Honestly, out of fear. And I don't think there's anything good or bad about Photoshop. It's just a tool. The way I was using it was, in my head, Photoshop exists to fix what's wrong with people so that they will buy photos of themselves. Then I put a lot of pressure on it. I would spend hours, I would refine, even when I outsourced my retouching, I would still get the images back and still pour over them and make little fixes and little things, just anticipating everything a client could have a problem with, right? Because my mindset was just so different than it is now. So what made me finally go all in on it was after months and months of lessons of really realizing like, this is where I show up most valuably. This is the work I want to do. And a cancer diagnosis, a second one that I had recently, was kind of the push I needed. Like, if I'm still going to show up in the world, like if it, like a good healthy question I ask myself now is like, if I only have another year to photograph people, like what type of portraits do I want to make for them? And it's raw portraits. Yeah, and I love to see how it evolves. Okay, question number 4, how do you feel secure about your service and your offer to your clients? This is a great question because this is what a lot of photographers struggle with. Like, how do I feel secure in the offer that I'm giving them? I think there's a few ways to feel secure in it. One way is to have a framework that someone created for you that you can copy and implement into your own business and customize, but then just showing up and doing it. Because it's one thing to say, I've learned about this thing, right? It's one thing to watch a bunch of lighting courses. It's another thing to implement that lighting into your business and into what you create. So similar with raw portraits, which it's not a lighting course. This is business. This is fundamentals. This is sales. This is marketing. This is self-discovery for you, like on your part. Obviously, we talk about it through profitability because ultimately that's what's going to make you do the work, right? When you showing up and running your own business, as you know, being a self-employed creative, that is one of the most clarifying journeys you can ever go on in your life because it is self-development times 100, isn't it? But I think when it comes to feeling secure in what you offer, it's embodiment. You have to embody it. You can watch courses, you can talk about it all day long, you can sit and stress about it on Instagram and compare your work to others or compare different offers or different sales techniques or strategies. But at the end of the day, showing up and photographing people in that way, whether they're a paid client or not, I think that's where you start. You just start doing it because confidence comes from ownership. And we have to embody something in order to own it. That's also why you gotta do raw self-portraits. And don't worry, I have a whole framework for you, a whole example video, a whole everything so that you can do that in raw portraits for real profit. But that's the number one most important thing, is you embodying it for yourself. All right, number 5, if I wanna be a future photography mentor or educator, what do I do? Here's what you're gonna do. You're going to pay attention to what people are already asking you for. What are photographers asking you for? For me, I came up with my raw portraits course and the framework around it because so many photographers were connecting with what I was doing and they were DMing me and saying, Mitzi, how are you offering this? What's the framework? How are you getting people to pay for this? That was the biggest question. And that's when I realized underneath that question is, wait, I don't see the value in this. But I love it, but I don't see the value. Like, how are you getting people to exchange monetary value for this thing? And, it's kind of like, I was talking to one of my mentors about it. She's like, yeah, you don't pay less for newborn photography because the person is smaller, right? Like, we're selling a valuable experience. We're selling, a space for someone to go through a transformation and completely shift the way they perceive themselves. It's incredible. So if you are a photographer who wants to teach, wants to educate, wants to be a mentor in this space, that's amazing. We need good mentors. We need people who have gone and done the work, but you need to teach what you've done. You're not here to teach what you know. You're here to teach what you did. So laying that out clearly, being able to get people from a pain point to a solution. That's what you do. And then you just make it, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a course. But here's the thing, talking about it, that's one thing. I would say 90% of the photographers out there who talk about wanting to mentor and teach don't actually do it, like make a thing and then offer it. So that's what you got to do. Number 6, this is from a photographer who does, glamorous, highly stylized editorial type shoots, with like full mood boards and stylists and everything. And he asked, how do I go from that to offering raw portraits? And can I offer both? Yes, you absolutely can. Think about it this way. If you were to go get a super fancy decked out sushi roll, like the main special on the menu that chef at that restaurant is known for, and it's got tempura and it's got wasabi and it's got avocado and it's got 3 types of fish, and you can have a beautiful sushi roll like that with a lot going on. But that same restaurant will also offer sashimi, a piece of raw fish. These things are going to be at similar price points, aren't they? But that's what raw portraits are. They're like sashimi. They're not like fish you forgot to cook. It's not like you came home from the grocery store and then you just left the tilapia on the counter and it thawed out and then you served that, okay? It's very different. Raw portraits are intentional. They're a separate experience. And I would argue if you're already doing highly stylized portraits, like I was when I started raw portraits, you have a whole client base that you now have a new offer that you can serve them with. Hey, you've done this photo shoot with me. You did it with the Photoshop. You did it with the hair and makeup. You did it with all that. That's great. And look, you didn't explode. You surprised yourself. You loved the portraits, didn't you? Yes, you were so fun to work with, because obviously you're only going to reach out to the people who you actually enjoyed working with. And then you're going to ask them, hey, I got this new experience. If that last shoot was like sushi, this shoot's like sashimi. It's like if the last shoot was like a full band, this is like the acoustic set, right? Just 2 different things. And you have a whole bunch of people, even if it's only 5, great. You've got people who already know you, are already familiar with your price point. They've already shot with you, and you can now offer them something new. And then you can use them and their experience, use the words that they've given you, not use them, but you can be strategic about how you use how they've talked about this session with you, what it meant to them and all that. And you can use that to further refine your own messaging and your own marketing. And you can offer it to them, and a lot of them will buy it. So the last thing I want to say, if you stuck with this video so far, is that whether you've purchased my Raw Portraits course or not, whether you purchased my follow-up course, Crafting Connection, or not, those 2 things I created are now going to be under the umbrella of my new program called Raw Portraits for Real Profit. I'm so excited. I have been building this for a long time, because what I found is that everybody who's taken my courses, everyone who's come to my classes at the biggest photography conferences in the United States, everyone who's come to workshops with me, they all need follow-up support. They need accountability. They need someone they can ask questions to regularly, live on Zoom calls. They need updated social media training. So much of the social media training for photographers that a lot of us used and a lot of us got into in the last 7-8 years, even in the last couple years, it has changed so much. And I've been doing the work. I've been doing the learning. I've paid coaches who cost a lot more than what I charge photographers to learn and to nail this stuff, because I want to bring it to you. And I'm tired of seeing incredible, passionate, high achieving, with a high standard of quality creatives just struggling and just getting burnt out and not making money doing what they love and not showing up in a confident way and owning it. And I know for me, What helped me get from where I was to where I am now is regular support from people who had gone before me, from people who are willing to say, oh, yes, I've been there. Here's what I did. Just give you those reminders. You're doing great, reminding you to celebrate when you have wins. I don't know about you, but that doesn't come naturally to me. And I didn't even realize how much I was stuck in perfectionism until just these last few months when I finally started building the thing that I wanted to build for a really long time. You just have to start. And having that ongoing support from a mentor, from a coach, it's everything. And beyond that, a community of other people who are on the same journey as you. Raw Portraits for Real Profit is here. I've already opened up my pre-launch to my founding members. I already have people coming in. That's only available until March 20th. The rate is gonna go up after that incrementally, but this program is, if this is the legacy that I leave behind, then I don't know when my last day will be. I don't think it's going to be for a while, but if this is the legacy that I leave behind for creatives, for photographers around the world, I'll be like, hell yeah. That's great. I'm good with that. Life's too short to spend it hunched over like a shrimp, to your arm cramping up, getting carpal tunnel from Photoshop, or just getting exhausted trying to keep up with the next AI trends, or spending hours on social media trying to figure out and study what is gonna work, what's gonna connect with my audience. And I know this because I've done it. And I'm over it. I'm ready to take action and show up for people and serve them, and then have time and resources to live my life. Because I don't know about you, but I only have one life. And it's too precious to waste and burn out. If I wanted to make a job I hated, what kind of creative life is that? If you want a job you don't like, go work for someone else to get health insurance. Seriously, if you're doing this on your own terms, then truly do it on your own terms and make it work for you. And I want to show you how. All right, let me know if you have any questions.